Okay, YouTube, let's try this again. Hope this helps anybody out thinking about going to night transportation. Um, I'm only speaking on the Carlisle, PA terminal in my experience. I called them up, got in touch with a recruiter. Um, she got back with me. You submitted the forms, they run your MVR, you know, DAC report and all that stuff. Uh, they do pay for a bus ticket to the terminal as well as a Uber um, to the terminal in Carlisle, PA. I'm from Philadelphia. Uh, I don't recommend anyone going with that because there is no bus terminal in Carlisle. It's in Harrisburg, and Harrisburg from Carlisle is about 30 miles. So one, you're going to be trusting the Greyhound guy who's driving 100 miles an hour, and then you got an Uber guy who has to drive at least 30 miles down the road. So my advice is to drive your own vehicle or rent a vehicle. Um, because you're not going to get a truck. This orientation is different. When I say not get a truck, I went through the process. They do book the hotel at the Comfort Inn. Everything's on the same strip in Carlisle, PA. So they did do that. I drove up from Philadelphia to the hotel um, on a Tuesday night. Orientation started Wednesday. Tuesday night, dinner is not provided by them. It comes out of your pocket. Just be aware of that. Some companies pay for everything, some don't. They don't because you're not actually hired with them. Wednesday morning, Comfort Inn does provide some type of breakfast. You guys know the drill. Sausages, whatever. You go downstairs, have your breakfast or whatever, or buy your breakfast. I recommend buying it. Then you drive to the terminal. When you drive to the terminal, the first thing you will do is take a drug test. Not there, Concentra. You will drive to the Concentra, back down the road, take your drug, and you will have to do a whole DOT physical. Even if you have a car, it doesn't matter. You're going to have to do it. Then you'll return back. You'll return back. You'll watch a few films. The modules that you have to complete, about 3 or 4 of them, do those before you come to orientation so you don't have to sit in the class and do that. But you watch a couple of more films, and at some point in that day, you will take a second drug test in the terminal, which will be a urine test as well as a hair follicle test. Again, hair follicle test. So, any of you druggies, you're not going to beat the hair follicle test. So, don't waste your time or their time, coming to orientation. Now, you'll do that. After you do that, they will provide you a lunch. Can't say what it is. Whatever they decide to order, it will be provided for you. And then after that, you will get some type of tour of the facility of the terminal, which is standard terminal. Anybody that's been driving for a while, I've been driving for a while, so it's all the same. Terminal, showers, whatever, vending machine, pretty fair, just like any other terminal. Nothing amazing and spectacular, just like any other terminal, but you're still not hired yet. After that, you will go back to the hotel. Dinner is on you. This is Wednesday. Dinner is on you, not provided by them. And you'll get up Thursday. You can go downstairs, have your breakfast, check out from the hotel, return to the terminal. When you return to the terminal, you'll watch a few more films, just how the company was started, the policy, etc., etc., etc. You guys know the drill. As for you guys with no experience, I have no idea how that goes. It was only 3 people in orientation, myself included. One girl has only been driving for a year and a half. The other young man, he just got a CDL, so he wasn't given a road test. If you had no experience, you won't be given a road test. So then it was raining. A road test came. The facilitator that handles all of the computer work and everything and the films and all that, he might be preoccupied, so they have several drivers that used to be trainers that they asked to do a road test if the facilitator is not available. I myself went out with a gentleman who was on the account that I was applying for a road test. Just so you know, anybody with experience, be aware that the person that is giving you the road test may not have as much experience as you. And be aware they're going to ask you to perform certain things, meaning teach you how to drive or whatever. Just do it, even though to me it just didn't make any sense. I mean, my road test, we had to go get a night trailer from a company, bobtail over, um, and then bobtail over, hook up the trailer, bring the 53 foot back to the terminal, perform a straight back in a 45. Okay. Well, the pre-trip was first. I didn't understand that. Anybody, who's been driving for a while, I could sit in this chair. I don't have to get out and point to every actual thing like I'm in school. I've been doing this for a few years. Uh, Even worked for right in Carlisle, Smith Transport. The terminal was right up the street. Like it was raining, so the guy was like, "Oh, I need you to do a pre-trip. I need you to get out. It's pouring down raining." And I'm like, "Well, I could sit in right here and tell you where I would start from the three L's, likes, leans, and leaks, from the engine component all the way on back. I don't need to, but okay, you have to do it. This is what this guy wanted." So then we did the pre-trip. We were off. We get to a shipper. Again, I don't need no one to advise me how to back up a tractor into the trailer, how to lower the trailer so it won't high hook. Like I always carry a 2x4 in there just in case it doesn't work. And well, he didn't seem to even know what I was talking about, but he wanted to give instructions on how. Uh, but that, just know that is going to happen. Just go with it. And even though I knew the area fairly well, I had a terminal up there, right down the road. Just let the person instruct you what lane to go in to drive in. Okay. Then we had to do a straight back. Me personally, I would have just told someone, let me hear your version of a pre-trip, and let them recite it to me. Not get out in the pouring rain. They don't have to do that. They could get out and recite it to me. Then we pulled in the terminal, used his ID. We did a straight back. It's a straight back. And a 45. I was instructed to get out and look. I don't understand. Uh, get out and look. Just be aware. The person that's giving you the road test may not have as much experience as you, but they've been working with the company. There was no need to get out and look with all that room. It's not New York City. You're not delivering to the boroughs. You're doing a straight back and a 45 into a hole. Once you take the initial look, you don't have to get out and walk around and then come back. No one does that in the real world of trucking. The only time we get out and look, safety is key. If it's super tight, you know that I might can't get in there. But getting out and look but just do it. Okay. And I'm like, what am I looking for? I looked at it when I pulled up and just, but okay. So I did that and did that, which was fine. Then, oh, I forgot. We did have a lunch with all the people in Carlisle's terminal, the main people, the office people. They were very pleasant. It seemed like a pleasant environment. Lunch was provided. This was before the road test. You'll meet like who's ever on the account, driver, manager, the gentleman who's in charge of the whole operation. So you'll meet them. Seems very pleasant. That experience seems to be great and fair. Everything was just like they said. It was fair. After that, you will return home like I did the other day and wait for a phone call or email. Now, this is the only thing that I didn't agree with. I went through the process, took out my time, paid my money out of my pocket for gas and everything. And you do get, if you get hired, you get, I believe it's $300 reimbursement for the training. I don't know how, maybe, I don't know how that goes because you haven't filled out any direct deposit, but that'll be another video. But I returned home and I didn't understand where I've submitted everything and and I was told that this happens sometimes. The recruiter, the female who I don't need to give her name, she asked me for something. I was working for Carvana, delivering cars for a brief time, couple months, because I didn't like the job. Um, I don't know why. She asked me for W-2s. I didn't have any W-2s from Carvana. And she said, you can go on a link and get them. Okay, the link wouldn't let me do it. I told her, hey, listen, it's not going to let me do it, but they will mail them to me in 5 to 10 days. That's just for that job. Every other job, she's saying she got whatever form, she got that. Okay, fine. So I took it a step further and I went on my Navy Credit Federal and I sent her the bank deposits from Carvana, each pay for those 2 months. She emailed me back saying it was fine. It was okay. Um, I then reached out and had my lady reach out to the HR department of Carvana, asking for the W-2s what Night Transport requested. I sent those to her email. Just what she asked for. It was in the first email with the offer letter, the W-2s, you might need them. If they couldn't reach out, if they couldn't get in contact with all the employers. Okay, fine. She contacts me back and says, I can't use the W-2s, but this is what you asked me for. This is in an email you stated before I would need them. And now you're telling me you can't use them. That I didn't understand. I asked her what was she waiting for. She said a form that verifies your employment. We need to know for that one job. Okay, no problem. She said hopefully it'll come, I don't know when. Again, I reached out to Carvana HR department. They responded back asking me, what do you want? You asked us for W-2s. We gave them to you. Do you need a letter of proof of employment? Yes. They sent it. Bam. Telling me he worked for the company, blah, 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 on these dates from here to there. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact us. I submit that. That should have been it. All I needed. She calls me and says, well, we're waiting on a separate special form. What is the name of the form? Because I just provided to you what Carvana Human Resources felt efficient for any company, the proof of employment like you asked. She said, no, I can't use that. What? These two things everything you asked me for, I've gotten it for you myself. And she was like, I can't use that. Okay. And I asked for the name of the form. She told me on the phone, it's a proof of employment, which I just sent you. Okay, say less, no more. Thank you. I got back in touch with Carvana. They're like, what are you talking about? We sent you W-2s. We even sent you an email form, proof of employment. It clearly states if anyone, has any potential employer doesn't understand it, they can reach out to us via email. Okay. All right. Well, I don't understand that. So the recruiter then says, well, it's out of my hands. What do you mean it's out of your hands? She says, there's nothing else you could send me, and there's nothing else I can do. I'm waiting for some type of form from Carvana, which you've been waiting for before I even went to orientation. She says she's gotten all these forms for all my other employers, JB Hunt, whatever, this and that. I never heard of anything like that. So she's like, well, we'll wait till Tuesday. Tuesday for what? If Carvana, you're claiming, did not send you any type of proof of employment, which they sent me when I emailed them just in 24, like one day. They sent me everything I asked for. I don't understand why they wouldn't send you. So I'm like, okay, all right, okay. Um, I never experienced that with a trucking company. I will say that I have a clean MVR DAC report. Never had a speeding ticket or accident. Never failed the drug test. Been doing this for some years now. But if I had to guess, and I hope this helps anyone, I think that when you in trucking and you don't know, you bounce around. You bounce around because a lot of carriers, they lied to you. Like I was with this company. I was with Smith Transport. It was a total disaster. Driving from PA to Maine, I'm only making $400 sitting 2 days straight. Like it's ridiculous. The truck they gave me, 3129, was a disaster. As soon as I got it from the Carlisle terminal, big dent on the side, smell. I had to clean it up. Just broke every week. Every week this truck was broke down. I only got one breakdown pay. I don't understand it. They gave it to me like that. I checked it off. The fifth wheel broken. The light. So you bounce around from companies because you guys know companies will lie. The recruiters would tell you, hey, then when you get in there, it's not what you think. You're not, I remember from being a Carlisle, I would run to Virginia. Hey, boom, deliver the load. Hey, I'm waiting, put on the call come. I'm ready. I'll sit there. And I would sit at Chester, Virginia terminal 10, 20, 30 hours just at the terminal. And now I'm always on a regional account. So I'm going to go home on Thursday. So you mean to tell me I got paid one time? That is ridiculous. Not to say that is the case with this place. I'm just saying for the orientation, if you're in Philadelphia, coming to the Carlisle, which would be your terminal, um, that's what I experienced. The terminal was great. The people in the terminal was great. Everything they said pre-hire, because you're not hired. This is not like a regular orientation. This is like a orientation process to see if you qualify. Everything was just like they said with night transport. The only thing that I just didn't understand was the, that letter you received all my other past employments. That letter should suffice. Um, anything. It should be enough. And then what did she say? She said, "Well, we have to make sure you know safety. You weren't fired for safety issues." Everyone knows companies, whatever they tell you they're fired for. If you didn't hit anything, and it'll be on your DAC report in your MVR. So that didn't make no sense. Like I said, I've been driving, for a while, and like I said, that just didn't make sense. Not to say that it's not going to come back. Um, Sometime this week. Memorial Day is the holiday Monday. Maybe to come back. I'll give it till Friday. But it's kind of strange because I emailed her and told her, and I didn't know this. I was approved for U.S. Express. I was approved for Arca Express. I was approved for several other companies, but I kind of backed off because of the fact I didn't want to go through what I went through. You guys know when you go through these regional companies, like they lied to you, and I was kind of. But when I seen this called Night Transport, they had a semi-home daily, which brought me to the Philadelphia area. The only reason I went with that because I said, okay, I won't be sitting out on the road for days at a time and not making no money. At least I could be home if I'm not making no money. But now it seems like there's a wall here, and I don't understand because that just didn't doesn't make sense to me. But maybe that's just my experience. Again, if you're coming out of Philadelphia or surrounding area, going to the Carlisle terminal, everything is just like they say in the pre-orientation. But please drive your own vehicle because you'll have to drive up and then drive back. the girl I was with, she thought she was getting a truck. She rented a car from Enterprise out of her pocket and was like, I thought I was getting a truck. Like, I don't know who her recruiter was, but she was kind of a little upset about that. Like, now I got to drive all the way back. And she made plans to, I don't know, leave her stuff for the truck or whatever. I already knew that because the recruiter, oh, I left that off. The recruiter told me I wouldn't be getting the truck. And I said, okay. And the recruiter told me they would probably just keep me in a hotel till everything got approved. I'm not staying in no hotel. But that's not how it works. I took it upon myself to call Carlisle Terminal and spoke to the guy, Howard, the guy that runs it. Real nice guy. Tells a lot of jokes, has a lot of experience, like 20 years in driving, you know. So, and he was like, look here, kid, this is what you got to do. Get in your car, drive up to the hotel, you know, then come here and then drive. Then you go back home and you'll wait. When everything is approved, then you'll drive back up and pick up a truck. But he said, we'll either pay for the bus, you know, and your Uber, or we'll pay for the rental car, and then you could take the truck back with you. Okay, so he gave me a little more clarity than the recruiter gave me. I just think the recruiter, since they handle so many contracts, they really didn't. She really doesn't know how the process actually goes for that contract. Maybe Arizona, because I think they're based in Arizona. You know, that's a little more smoother for them. But she really didn't know. Like, if they booked the bus ticket and the Uber ticket to the terminal, no one told me that you would have to. They said you would do the drug test inside of Carlisle Terminal, but you do one before that, the Concentra, which is down the road. You have to drive there. No one told me that. So you would have probably had to pay for that Uber out of your own pocket to go up there and come back. You probably would have had to pay for that. I mean, we all drove. Everybody drove. So they were like, oh, we got to go where? I thought we were doing it here. But that was a shocker to the class was small and we drove. So just be aware, like I said, if you're coming from Philadelphia, Maryland, whatever, and you're coming to the Carlisle Terminal, it's going to be everything they said, except for you have to go to Concentra. When you get there on the first day of orientation, you're going to hightail it down the road to Concentra, which is down the road. Everything is on the same strip. And then you're going to come back. And then you're going to watch film. Then you're going to take a second drug test. So know that. Bring a couple dollars with you for dinner. It's not like dinner's not provided. Some people give you a voucher for dinner. Some people, Smith rolled out the red carpet. They gave you the Smith bill. It's not going to happen with Night Transport because you're not tired with them just yet. So they're just going to pay to get you from A to B and house you. They'll feed you a lunch at the terminal for 2 days, breakfast at the Comfort Inn, but bring some money with you. Now, my only thing is, I really just hope that after this week goes by, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, either they say, hey, everything, went through, we did get it, that was good. I hope for that. But if not, that means I wasted my time and my money. But could happen. Who knows? I'm just pointing out the facts and the obvious and sharing my experience with Night Transport. So I hope this helps anybody out. That's pretty much it. And just know everything at the terminal is going to be like they said, but it's on the other end, on the back end with the recruiters. I don't understand. Everything you asked me for, I gave you. So, and now you wait. Now she said it's something else. What? That didn't make sense. That just didn't make sense to me. But okay, we're all adults here, But hopefully, it doesn't go that way. And that's pretty much it. So, thank you for watching, and I hope this helps you. Go on.